Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Dixon. I just wanted to come on to kind of walk you through what to expect for ELA this week. I know sometimes it can kind of be confusing on what is actually needed to submit at the end of the assignment. So at the top, you'll see this toolbar up here and then another toolbar over here. The majority of the time, you won't really have to use it. Sometimes in the interactive things that they ask you to do, you can use it, but the majority of the time you are not needing to touch those. The only thing you need up here are these. This is to take you to the next screen. This is taking you back if you need to go back to refer to a page. So in the beginning, it always kind of gives you a preview on what you're going to be learning. This is an interactive piece. So here they'll type in the ending digraph, click next, and they'll do that 4 times before they click submit on this, which isn't the assignment, but just them practicing the skills that are being taught within this lesson. So I need to click the green arrow to move on to the next screen. And then again, in the beginning, there's a phonics section. So this week, in this particular lesson, they're learning about digraphs. So this here again is interactive. I can push play.
The letters CH say ch, like in cheetah.
So this reads these little blurbs that next to the digraph. And then down below, it's the same thing, interactive. I can play this.
Sh, ship.
Okay, and then do that for each one. Now down here, this is just a fun little thing for them to do, practice recording themselves, saying the different digraphs and then words that they are. So you just push this button to record and then press play once you want to play it back. And that's for that screen. Okay, so here where it says try it, this is nothing that needs to be submitted. It's just, again, practicing skills that are taught within this ELA lesson. Whenever you see the green play, that's for you to hear. When you see the write about it, that's, again, just an activity where they're practicing using the spelling patterns of the digraphs and other phonics that they learned. Whenever you see this interactive notebook, it's not necessarily something that you're supposed to have, but if they are doing this right about it, they can just do it on a piece of notebook paper. But in the end, whenever you see interactive notebook, it's nothing that needs to be submitted. Again, green arrow. All right, so again, here's another try it interactive notebook. So nothing that's being submitted. So after I read through this, then I would hit the green arrow. This is where I click down and it gives me more information about the different connections that they're talking about that you can make. Here is the downloadable document. Again, if you don't have access to a printer, and whenever it's a downloadable document, you can download it to look and see what do I need to write down or what does my child need to write down. In this document, the Making Connections Graphic Organizer is something for them to fill out, again, practicing the skill of making connections as they read this text, George Washington. So again, interactive, just press play to hear it. This here is just another copy of the text, George Washington. Does not need to be downloaded unless you want a hard copy to print out. So green arrow again. Okay, so here's where I just click on it and it'd tell me the different connections to self, to the world, to the other text that can be made. Down here is just them talking about the connections that they made while they read. Here again, the work working on root words and word endings, so just click on the arrow down to read more about it. Try it. This is where you're actually going to use the toolbar if you want to try it to where they're using the highlighter in order to find the words that have the different word endings. And then answers, if I want to check my answers, green arrow again to move to the next page. Here's where they're going to teach me. So I'm going to watch the video, go through these, and here's where it's kind of like a mini quiz, talking about the main topic, whatever I think it is. Click it and then click submit, and it will tell me if I'm right. And then click next, because I'll do that twice. After I'm done, green arrow. Right, now this is where it's teaching us about the writing, about having a good topic sentence, which is the top part or the first piece of bread that you put on. Here's that graphic organizer you guys filled out from last week, week 1. The write about it again. This is where you're using the graphic organizer and the interactive notebook if you wanted to in order to make a good topic sentence, and then adding sentences to add details to the graphic organizer. So this is, whenever it's write about it, it's always just giving them that practice, since they are not in school, with how to create a good paragraph. So although it's not being turned in, it is good practice for them to continue to get practice with forming good paragraphs, which they'll have to do in 2nd grade. Okay, so on here, again, one of the interactive things that I do. Enrichment, another share it if I want to do it. Enrichment is not required, but another activity if you would like to enrich your child with something more. And then here, just summing up the lesson. It's always like a quick little check to see if they understood the lesson. And then whenever you see this page where it says, what is my assignment? This is where you're going to find out what is actually being submitted. And for this actual assignment, it is, I read the lesson, I completed the activities, which again are not being submitted. For this one, I'm actually completing a quiz. So there is no taking any pictures or uploading anything from any of the write about it that you had done or the graphic organizer. So when I go back to my modules, back at my modules here, whenever you see the rocket, that is a quiz. So I'm going to click on it. And then I click on go. Right now it says preview because it's not live, but for teachers we can see it ahead. So then I go through and I'm gonna mark whatever answer I think for each. When I get to the bottom, that's when I'll hit submit quiz. And then for quizzes, you're allowed to retake it 3 times. So say I missed 3 questions on this quiz, I can go back and click retake quiz, and I can again retake it. It'll flag the answers that I got wrong. But again, you are allowed 3 attempts at a quiz. So that is what is expected to be submitted, and kind of explain what to do for the 8.03 section of ELA for this week.